In the heart of New York City, nestled amidst the towering skyscrapers and bustling streets, stood a mansion unlike any other. It was known simply as the House of Death. Its ominous facade loomed over the neighborhood, casting a shadow of fear and dread upon all who dared to glance its way. Legends whispered of the unspeakable horrors that lurked within its walls, tales passed down through generations, warning of the dark forces that called the mansion home. As night fell upon the city, the House of Death seemed to come alive with malevolent energy. Its windows glowed with an eerie light, illuminating the twisted architecture and decrepit features of the building. Few dared to venture near, for those who did often spoke of strange whispers that echoed through the air and chilling apparitions that materialized in the darkness. Among the bravest souls to ever tread the streets of New York was a young journalist named Emily. Fascinated by tales of the supernatural, she made it her mission to uncover the truth behind the House of Death. Armed with her notepad and camera, she approached the mansion one moonlit night, her heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. The front gate creaked open with a sound like a mournful wail, and Emily stepped cautiously onto the overgrown path that led to the mansion's grand entrance. As she crossed the threshold, a chill ran down her spine, and she couldn't shake the feeling of being watched by unseen eyes. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of decay, and the silence was deafening. Emily's footsteps echoed through the empty halls as she explored the abandoned rooms, each one more unsettling than the last. Furniture lay overturned, cobwebs draped from the ceiling, and the walls seemed to pulse with a sinister energy. But Emily pressed on, her determination overriding her fear. She had come too far to turn back now. With each step, she felt as though she was drawing closer to the truth, to the dark secret that lay at the heart of the House of Death. Finally, she reached the mansion's inner sanctum, a dimly lit chamber at the top of a winding staircase. In the center of the room stood a large, ornate mirror, its surface clouded with age. As Emily approached, she caught sight of movement in the reflection, a flicker of movement in the shadows behind her. Turning slowly, Emily's heart skipped a beat as she came face to face with the apparition of a young girl, her eyes hollow and filled with an otherworldly light. The girl beckoned to Emily, her voice a ghostly whisper on the wind. "Help me," she pleaded, her voice echoing through the chamber. "Help me escape this place." Without hesitation, Emily reached out to the girl, her fingers brushing against the cold surface of the mirror. In an instant, the room seemed to spin around her, and she found herself standing in a different time, a different place. Before her lay the mansion, but it was no longer the House of Death. Instead, it stood gleaming and new, filled with life and laughter. Emily realized with a start that she was standing in the past, witnessing the events that had led to the mansion's descent into darkness. As she watched, she saw the tragic tale unfold, a family torn apart by jealousy and betrayal, their spirits trapped within the walls of the mansion for all eternity. And at the center of it all was the young girl, the same girl who had appeared to Emily in the mirror, her innocence corrupted by the darkness that consumed her. With a sinking feeling in her heart, Emily knew what she had to do. She reached out once more, this time to the girl's spirit, offering her a chance at redemption, a chance to break free from the chains that bound her to the House of Death. And as the first rays of dawn broke through the darkness, the mansion began to crumble around them, its malevolent energy dissipating into the air. Emily watched as the spirits of the trapped souls ascended into the sky, their anguished cries fading into the morning light. With a heavy heart, Emily turned away from the ruins of the House of Death, knowing that she had played a part in setting its tormented souls free. But as she walked away, she couldn't shake the feeling that the darkness that had once lurked within those walls was still out there, waiting to ensnare the unwary and the foolish. And she vowed to never again seek out the secrets of the supernatural, lest she become ensnared in its grasp once more. Months had passed since Emily's encounter with the House of Death, yet the memory of that fateful night lingered in her mind like a haunting melody. Despite her vow to leave behind the world of the supernatural, she found herself drawn back to the mansion time and time again, unable to shake the feeling that there was still more to uncover. One chilly autumn evening, as the leaves danced in the wind and the shadows lengthened across the city, Emily found herself standing once again before the imposing gates of the House of Death. This time, however, she was not alone. Beside her stood a small group of fellow investigators, skeptics and believers alike, united by their shared curiosity and desire for answers. With a sense of trepidation mingled with excitement, Emily led the group through the overgrown path and into the mansion's crumbling halls. As they explored the dimly lit rooms, each member of the group experienced strange sensations and unexplained phenomena, confirming the presence of a lingering paranormal energy within the house. But it was when they reached the chamber at the top of the staircase, the same chamber where Emily had encountered the ghostly apparition, that things took a truly chilling turn. As they stood before the ancient mirror, a sudden gust of wind swept through the room, extinguishing their lanterns and plunging them into darkness. In the inky blackness, they heard whispers, soft, insidious voices that seemed to come from all around them. Panic rose in their chests as they struggled to find their way out, their senses overwhelmed by the oppressive atmosphere of the house. Just when it seemed that all hope was lost, a faint light appeared in the distance, growing steadily brighter with each passing moment. With a sense of relief, Emily and her companions followed the light, allowing it to guide them through the maze-like corridors and out into the night. As they emerged from the mansion's shadowy embrace, they found themselves standing in the cool night air, bathed in the soft glow of the moonlight. Behind them, the House of Death loomed like a silent sentinel, its secrets still hidden within its crumbling walls. But for Emily and her fellow investigators, the experience had only deepened their resolve to uncover the truth. And as they stood together beneath the stars, they knew that their journey was far from over, for the House of Death held many more mysteries, waiting to be revealed.